In the world of watches, one can go from a very simple one-handed watch like the Meister Singer number 1 all the way to the bespoke Vacheron Constantin reference 57260, which has a world record 57 complications. Between these two extremes, is there a sweet spot for how complex a watch should be? I'll explore that question on this episode of Adventures with Time. There are a lot of one-handed watches available. Meister Singer makes several and is probably the best known for producing these minimal-looking watches. Some have additional complications beyond the single hand, but they do have watches with just one hand and nothing else on the dial. At the other extreme, there is just one watch that holds the title for most complicated watch, at least today. That is the Vacheron Constantin reference 57260. This reference number is a combination of the 57 complications and the 260th anniversary of the maker. It is estimated that this one-of-a-kind watch cost the anonymous collector who commissioned it a whopping $8 million US. After 8 years in the making, it was completed in 2015. It is 98 millimeters wide and 50.55 millimeters thick, with over 2,800 components. Between these two extremes, is there a sweet spot for the complexity of a watch? Okay, I know what you're going to say. Bob, it all depends upon the wearer and what activities they are doing. Yes, I totally agree. If one is going scuba diving, then those complications associated with a diver's watch are most appropriate. And there is the international standard ISO 6425 to guide us. The same is true for hiking, auto racing, and for those jet setters who travel the world. Therefore, let me generalize the question to what is known in watch enthusiast parlance as an everyday or daily wear watch. These are watches that can be worn with jeans, shorts, or business casual wear, and may even be appropriate for dress occasions. Another way of stating it, a watch that can be worn in 90% of the scenarios when one is not participating in some specialized activity. Hence, to rephrase my question, what is the sweet spot of complications for a daily wear watch? To answer this question, I'm going to enumerate what I believe are the more commonplace complications, and while doing so, provide my thoughts as to whether I would want it on a daily wear watch. I do this not to convince you that my opinions are correct, nor should be followed. Rather, to make you think about what complications you like and what you would want in a daily wear watch. Because whether a new collector or experienced collector, you're going to want to have at least one daily wear watch in your collection. Okay, got it? Let's go. To start off, I want this watch to be a mechanical watch, not a quartz watch or some other digital watch. Should it be a one-handed, two-handed, or three-handed watch? And by this, I refer to hour, minute, and second hands. We'll get to GMT and other hands later. One-handed watches are an interesting novelty, and I consider them just that, novelties. I don't think they serve any purpose other to invoke interest. I view two-handed watches as a more understated aesthetic, something appropriate with formal attire. I like a three-handed watch with running seconds. To go a bit further, I think I prefer a full second hand rather than one in a subdial. A running second hand gives life to a dial, which, without one, would appear static. A second hand in a subdial has less movement than one that is part of the main dial. It is also less accurate to read. Not really a problem. Subdials do give a sportier look to a watch, so maybe I'd like one in an everyday watch. I'll have to look into this a bit more. Another very common complication is date. One can choose from a simple numeric date, a day and date, a simple calendar that is day, date, month, and year, or go whole hog to a perpetual calendar. My opinion, I like having just a date complication. Having said that, I do enjoy a day-date complication. However, a date-only window provides better balance to the dial. And you probably know if you're a regular watcher of this channel that I like a nicely trimmed out date window at 3 or 6 o'clock. I don't like date windows at 4 or 4:30 and those that are just punched holes into the dial. But that's just me. The only other, shall we say, visible complication I'd want on a daily wear watch is a rotating bezel. Doesn't matter if it's a diver's or GMT bezel. I think bezels, although they are not in constant motion, give life to a watch, but I wouldn't make this a hard requirement. There are some non-visible complications, if we can consider them complications, I'd like on a watch. Sufficient water resistance so that I would not worry about the watch around water. I'd say 100 meters should do. This means that it should have a screw-down crown. However, I don't want a watch with a helium escape valve. It should have a hacking movement because when I set my watch, I like to make sure that the second hand is adjusted to match the minute hand's position with respect to the minute track. That is, the minute hand is right on the minute when the second hand is at 12. I like an automatic self-winding watch. Just makes life a little easier. I don't need a watch with an extended power reserve. Anything over 30 hours is sufficient for me. Oh, I don't like power reserve indicators. I think they just complicate the dial. And if the watch has a date complication, it needs to have a date quick set capability. I like the anti-scratch attributes of sapphire crystals. And if the movement is nicely decorated, I like a display case back. It would be nice to have ample shock and magnetic resistance features. The magnetic resistance is the harder to come by capability. Finally, I prefer this watch on a bracelet, something comfortable and with a quick adjust mechanism. That is, something that doesn't require tools to adjust. A nice ratchet system fits the bill. There you have it, my vote for the daily wear sweet spot of complications. That's right, folks, I've excluded a GMT function, other than what might be supplied via a bezel. No chronograph, no moon phase, or other astronomical complications. Alarm? Nope. No repeaters or chiming complications. And no tourbillon, double nor triple axis. And no non-horological complications such as a thermometer. Now let me be clear, these are my desires for an everyday watch. I do have watches in my collection that have some of these other complications. For me, there is a time and a place when these complications are appropriate. This list of my criteria are for what I would want in a daily wear watch. How does that stack up against your sweet spot? I would love to hear others' lists. Please do share. If you want to see what I'm currently considering for a luxury daily wear, watch this video. Or maybe you want to see this video about my dedicated dress watch, a 100-year-old Tiffany branded Patek Philippe watch passed down from my great uncle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.